Hello and welcome to an Impact Gamers video, which will be a little bit different. This video I'm going to be very British, and that's not just standing in a queue in the rain. No, I am going to moan about something. Now, I love Clickteam Fusion. It's fantastic. I base my job around teaching young people Clickteam Fusion, inspiring them to make games, but it does have some things that really drive me, because some things just don't make any sense. Well, anyway, I want to tell you about these pitfalls and how to avoid them. First of all, I do want to say thank you, Clickteam, for having the bug tracker. So you can head over to the website bugbox.clickteam.com and you can let them know if there are any major bugs. These problems are more inherent in the system and they're things that have been around for quite a while rather than just faults with updates. And there's a great community that will help you out in the Clickteam community, and there's YouTube where you can search for tutorials, and there's some great academies and paid for stuff that's really good value and I highly recommend. But I'm going to start off by saying, Clickteam, when I download the free version from your website, I expect it to be the latest version, but no, it's not. You go through the rigmarole of installing it only to have it download another version as an update and install it all over again. But anyway, let's concentrate on the making games bugs. Issue number 1. When you're starting the free version, if you don't have the internet, you get greeted with the startup page and this blank space. Now, I can forgive you, Clickteam Fusion. This is where you place your adverts and up-to-date things. It would be nice to have something here, but it's not the main bug. The main issue is that if you start a new application, and then in the free version, you're limited to one application, you start another application, and you just get this box, can't reach this page. Now, if you were connected to the internet, it would tell you, you've reached the limitations to the free version, that you can only have one application, that you can only have a certain amount of frames and objects and stuff like that. And it would allow you to close it. But no, I cannot close this window. There's nothing on this window to close because it's a web-based thing. Right, anyway, here's the answer. You have to hold down Alt and F4 for the magic to happen, and that's just the Windows command to close things. But then you won't be able to save your application or run it and do things that you want to do without closing. So right-click and close the application, and then program features are restored. It tells you very briefly, but it's almost like a little magic key code. Okay, the next issue I have is I want to go to the frame editor. I can't go to the frame editor. I only have one frame. But no, I have to select my one frame before going to the frame editor. I'm going to come back to the fact about frames in a second, because that's one of my annoyances as well. So let's insert an object, as we do with all our games. I insert a new object, and active, because we all want to be active, don't we? Pop it down. Now, it's just called active. If I insert another one, it's going to be active. Active. Great. I understand. It needs to give them a name. Call them active. It makes sense. They're active objects. But why do I have to then go to the About properties, or have to F2 or right-click and rename any of those things? Why can't you just add an object and then it force you to give it a name at birth? So then I want to resize an object. Oh, how do you resize it? Oh, you just pull on the corners. No, wait a minute. You don't pull on the corners. You click on the object. You wait a second and click again. Why? Why? And then if you wait a second and click again, then you can rotate. Oh, that's where it's been hiding the whole time. Why? Why do you have this cycling through? Now, you say, well, it's not a problem. You just click on it twice quickly. No, because that opens up the edit window, which brings me on to another issue. When you build an animation, you have frames. I understand frames in an animation, but why are they called frames? We have a frame that we're building the game in. So we have frame 1 here. We have frame 1 here. They're not the same thing. This is your animation frame. This is your level. And then you have frames per second when you get into the coding of it. So please, Clickteam Fusion, I believe this product is translated from the French version, but please can we just have maybe cells of animation, and level 1 would help it explain and differentiate a lot more. And then we have the issue of direction options. Oh, direction options. Obviously up, down, left, right. No, they're the animation options for that direction, which these are the directions. So please call it animation options. That would help. And some labeling, maybe about what some of the bars do. this one helps us. This is the onion layers so that you can see your previous and your next cell of your animation. But it would really help just to label these, because this labeling it here isn't as useful, because that doesn't do anything. Anyway, those aren't the big gripes. The big gripes are the animation options. Right, this one isn't really a bug or lack of consistency. This is really annoying. If you want to place objects in a group together, you can do that, and that's in this option called events. So firstly, the fact is that it's got the exact same icon but does something completely different. So these are the event properties. Oh, I want to add a qualifier. Where's my button to add a qualifier? Oh, it's hidden. Click once. There we go. I can now edit the qualifier. So that's a one click. Second click, click on edit. Third click, oh, click on add. Fourth click, I choose player, which is annoying because there's also a joystick icon from the get-go anyway. Fifth click, okay. Sixth click, okay. 6 clicks to place things in groups. That's just a little bit too many. Maybe, please, could we just have add qualifier and then select your qualifier? It'd be lovely. Right, let's get on to events. So here's the lovely event editor. I want to add a new condition. So I click on, no, I don't click on anywhere other than the exact words that say new condition. Why? Anyway, so I add my new condition in, and I'll just add any condition always. Right, now I want to add in an action for this. So I want it to destroy, always destroy active. All right, so I click. No, I tried double clicking. What's this? I'm now suddenly in the event list editor, which itself blocks me from, now I can't run my application, it's now grayed out. I can't actually save my application, it's grayed out. This event list editor is some kind of purgatory place where you get to put your actions in the right order, but you can't do anything, you're just stuck here. Well, anyway, to get out of here, you can go back to the event editor. You have to right click. Now at Impact Gamers, we use the phrase, you right click for a tick, because it makes a tick. Also, this would be a really nice improvement. Well, if you had multiple things, I know you can't destroy and then do something else. I know this is a stupid bit of code in the wrong order. I'd have to move them around in the event list editor. Oh, double clicking. Right, but I have 2 actions there. It would be really nice if I could just have a little 2 there next to the tick, just to let me know that I've got more than one thing happening. It'd just be a nicety. Right, player controls. The most common thing that my students want to do is something to happen when the player presses fire. So we add a new condition. Oh yeah, clicking on the words. And we go to the joystick. Okay, which is already a joystick. Anyway, go to the joystick. And I know you can't describe it because it's using the keyboard when using keyboard controls, and I understand that. So maybe call it controls, that might help. Read joystick state. Okay, fire button 1. Press OK. Oh, no, wait. Press fire button 1, move top at the same time. I have to move up and press fire button 1. Let's double click to edit. This was already selected. And yes, it is already selected. Whenever you choose to read the joystick state, it's always got up selected. Please, just leave it blank. That would be really nice. So to make this video short, and just to be a final frustration, is about running your game. You run your application. Yeah, running it, and then you want to go back to edit it. So you go back to edit it, and you start to do some other things, and you carry on, quite happily until you want to draw something, and press OK, and then do something else, add a backdrop. But then you want to undo something because you don't want that anymore. So edit, undo. What's happened? Oh, it's crashed. Something's gone wrong. It must have crashed. Click on properties. These are grayed out. Well, I can't save it. Why can't I do these things? Because you're still running the application and there's no warning about it. It's just because it's running. As soon as I close it, I can do all these things again. But please, Clickteam Fusion, just tell the user you're currently running your game. You can't access these. So once again, I want to say I really do love Clickteam Fusion. I think it's fantastic. You can make some brilliant things in it, and I use it in my job to inspire young people to get creative with computing. I highly recommend it. I recommend that you go to clickteam.com, that you try the free version, you download it, you install it, then you reinstall the update, and you have a look at some YouTube tutorial videos. We've got one up here called The Basics, and start making games. But just remember those pitfalls, and hopefully Clickteam Fusion will add a couple of those suggestions in and make it even nicer to use. If you do get stuck in Clickteam Fusion, do comment on our videos. If you're following our videos, do go join the community. Do ask people, because they are very friendly and very helpful, and they do care a lot about your joy of making games, and it is a joy. Even though there are some things that are annoying.